I'm not talking to you. Who are
I'm
you?
his attorney, sir.
Okay, well, he can talk to you after the traffic
He
stop,
has the
man.
right to have his attorney present during any questioning by police.
For just a minute here, you said you've had nothing to drink this evening.
Hello, officer.
Have you had anything?
Hello.
I'm not talking to you. Who are
I'm
you?
his attorney, sir.
Okay, well, he can talk to you after the traffic
He
stop,
has the
man.
right to have his attorney present during any questioning by police.
That's fine, but I'm not going to talk to you right now. All right, so what I'm going to need you to do is perform a couple steps or a couple tests for me, okay?
Field sobriety tests are voluntary, sir.
Ma'am, I'm not
I'm
talking to you.
my client.
Welcome back, everybody. As many of you guys know, I'm a law enforcement trainer instructor. I train and instruct law enforcement and military alike on all various law enforcement disciplines to include constitutional law, case law, patrol tactics, use of force, etc. And here in this video, we see that a driver has access to a mobile lawyer, a digital lawyer. I think that's great. And I don't want to act like I'm surprised by this. I mean, let's just take law enforcement, for example. Law enforcement has access to roadside translators, roadside counsel. I know if you're a member of the FOP, the Fraternal Order of Police, you can get in contact with the lawyer 24/7. You know, if you're involved in an officer-involved shooting or something, like law enforcement have access to lawyers 24/7. So why shouldn't the everyday law-abiding citizen? I think this is great. I mean, this is literally something where somebody says, "Hey, you know, I'm having a contact with law enforcement. I would feel much better if I was recording myself and if I had a lawyer right there in my windshield, you know, right there hanging up, watching what's going on and able to give me legal advice." I think that's great. And we shouldn't be surprised by this. And I expect law enforcement to run into this more and more. I think that's wonderful. I mean, in fact, you can go to Walmart and you can buy a digital translator that you can, you know, headphones you can put in your ear that will translate another language to you. So the idea that this isn't going to start becoming more mainstream and this isn't going to start happening more and more, law enforcement just need to expect it. I mean, I think it's great. For me, it's not going to change anything I do, but that's because I operate to that standard, right? I assume everybody I come in contact with has a Juris Doctorate and an LLM. That's just what I assume. That is why I train to the level I train. That is why I have the knowledge to the level that I do. And that's why I study this stuff every single day, because I expect every encounter that I have to be with a lawyer, somebody with a Juris Doctorate, somebody that has a PhD in constitutional law, somebody that knows their stuff. So if I hold myself to that standard, I'm not going to have any problems. And again, this isn't difficult, right? The Supreme Court, the Court of Last Resort, already has tons of case law precedent that allow me to operate the way I do. There's no, I don't want to oversimplify it, people, but there's no surprises. I know what I can do on a traffic stop because the Supreme Court has already told us, you know? So, not trying to oversimplify it, but it truly is that easy. So let's talk about some Miranda stuff roadside, because a lot of people don't know this. Let's talk about Miranda and traffic stops, for example, as you can see here on your screen. The roadside questioning of a motorist detained pursuant to a routine traffic stop does not constitute a custodial interrogation for the purposes of the Miranda rule. That's Berkheimer versus McCarty, 1984. Meaning, if you're on a routine traffic stop, that's not considered a custodial interrogation. So asking questions would not necessarily need you to read Miranda because it doesn't constitute, again, a custodial interrogation. Again, not my rules. That's the Supreme Court, the Court of Last Resort, Berkheimer versus McCarty, 1984. You don't like it, please take it up with them. Again, I'm not telling you my opinion, I'm telling you the reality. With that being said, let's look up here. Next, silence is not the invoking of rights. A suspect's silence during an interrogation does not invoke the right to remain silent. The Miranda rule to counsel must be invoked unambiguously. If a suspect makes an ambiguous or equivocal statement or no statement, the police are not required to end the interrogation or ask questions to clarify the suspect's intent. Burgess versus Tompkins, 2010, meaning your right to remain silent must be invoked. You must invoke your right to remain silent. And you know what's great about your rights? I know this is going to sound crazy, and I'm not trying to oversimplify this, but you have rights, okay? And you can invoke whenever you want. Your rights just don't go away. You can invoke. Even if you're not in a custodial interrogation setting, you can still invoke them. You can still say, hey, I don't want to talk to you. I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment right. And the cop can say, well, Miranda doesn't count here because this is not custodial. And you can say, I don't care, I'm still invoking. And then you invoke. Again, that simple, that easy. And so I think this is great. Again, if you're a cop and you know your case law and you know constitutional law and you know what you can do, it shouldn't matter if there's a lawyer sitting next to them. It shouldn't matter if they have a lawyer on their phone. It shouldn't matter if they themselves are a lawyer. Again, the Constitution is very clear on what you can and can't do, especially on a traffic stop. There should be no surprises. You should just, if you have the right to do something, you have the right to do it. So do it, right? Again, I'm not trying to oversimplify this, but, if you have probable cause for a crime, just because they're a lawyer doesn't mean that you can't arrest them for probable cause. Nobody's above the law, not lawyers, not cops, not anybody, right? So again, this shouldn't change. This shouldn't change what you do as law enforcement. And I think it's great because as a citizen, if that's what makes you feel more comfortable, if you feel more comfortable the fact that you are able to record the encounter and that you do have a lawyer present with you while you have the interaction, I think that's great. And let's be honest, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of police encounters are happening, every day, at least weekly, millions of encounters every year. Yeah, there's a lot of law enforcement encounters with citizens. So, if you feel safe and somebody can make some money doing it and working in their pajamas and teleworking from home, man, knock yourselves out. So I guess my question to you guys in the comment section, I really want to know, how much are you willing to pay for a mobile lawyer, right? If this was a subscription where you had access to a lawyer 24/7, how much would you pay for that legal advice? How much would you be able to pay to tap an app and a lawyer appear like that? How much would you pay for that? I'm curious to know in the comment section below. If you guys like this content, please like, share, subscribe. As always, guys, long live the Republic.